Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. How you probably noticed, I am on a test server account, guys, which gives me access to everything that will come in Season 2, or more or less everything that comes in Season 2. We have quite a few different things to cover. Big shout out to Newverse for organizing these test servers for us that allow us to showcase pretty much everything that we need to know about Season 2 in videos. That's great. And yeah, we do have new locations, we have bosses with new skills, new gear sets, new champions, quite a few new things going on, and I won't be able to cover everything in one video because we'll be here for like 24 hours or so. So I'm gonna do multiple videos. The main thing that I want to showcase in this video, guys, next to a couple of other sightings, are the new heroes. Now, I'm gonna do a different one for the new gear sets, the artifacts, we're gonna put them together, and we're gonna do some different videos on other content. But let me know in the comments down below what other things you guys would like to see, okay? Because I won't have the time to cover everything before the Season 2 actually hits in-game on my main account. So from there on, I'll be going gradually, walking you through everything that you might need to know. I kind of like to show you what I'm doing when you're in close to what I'm doing, basically, so you kind of like get an idea. You get to prepare a bit as well, and we're kind of like relating more. But that being said, we are getting a new dungeon that will allow us to farm more pages to purchase scrolls, so that's great. We're gonna have another one added to the map. This is one of the new locations, which I haven't uncovered all of them just yet, guys. How you may notice, we have the Arthur Cairn, bottom of the Misty Sea, and we have the Mechashon. I'm not sure if we're gonna have multiple ones here as well, but right here at the weekly challenges, we will get a new one of these that will give us pages. Okay, so that's awesome. Then a couple of other things that changed, and I'm actually pretty satisfied with it. Me and Odd One Gaming were kind of like talking with the community managers, kind of like giving them a bit of feedback and stuff, but we wanted to be able to purchase epic scrolls, okay? So if you go at the daily supply store, most of you guys will purchase Heliolite dice. You don't really click on here, but you can purchase different goodies, right? I purchased the legendary scrolls before, the master scrolls. One time I maxed it all, and I've purchased that just gradually. You know, I haven't went in and bought all 10 in a go. Just gradually, I purchased more. I was saving my wire marrow every day. Whenever I had 450, I was purchasing a scroll, and it has a cooldown as well once you reach the 10, you know. But then we had no way of purchasing epics or rares without actually spending real money, you know. So we kind of like asked, would be nice to get scholar scrolls in here and the apprentice scrolls, which are not that important because you're getting plenty from the game. But the scholar scrolls are something that are pretty rare, and it's great that we can purchase them. Okay, so you can purchase 10 every month. So that will cost you like 1,200 wire marrow, and you should be getting that as free to play easily, okay, in like 7 or 8 days. So it's not the end of the world, and it's a very good investment. Then nothing really changed in terms of offer and packs. If any of you filthy whales and krakens are wondering, you degenerates. But we do have some other things that I want to share with you, and the main thing is the event that will come for the champion like you tier. So right now I still have the Twinkle and Inferno event on this account. Now I'm not sure if it's because it's a test server and I never took part in it, or will be something that will appear in game every season, or every second season, or on the second season we're gonna get another chance at getting Drist. I'm not sure, okay? So I'm not gonna comment much on it. I'm just kind of like making you aware. Don't raise your hopes, don't get discouraged, kind of like stay in the middle. But right here, guys, we have this event that will come instead of the U tier event. So I'm quickly gonna try to see if I can find it on upcoming. There we go. Lunar Halo Radiance. So this is actually another champion like U tier. I'm making you aware from now because I want you guys to check this champion out, okay? Which we're gonna do in just a second. But you're gonna need to have summons as well. I think we needed 60 summons for the U tier event. Save your summons or don't, up to you if you're free to play or a low spender. But this hero is sick, okay? This hero is 10 times better than U tier. You're gonna need to have the 6 teams for the elemental affinity bosses in order if you want to get it as free to play. But you need to save 60 summons, okay? So My advice to you is start from now, and if you start from now, you're gonna be able to do it. If you don't, probably you won't be able to complete this as a free-to-play, okay? So keep that in mind. I personally think that this hero is really nice, and I'm gonna show it to you in just a second. I don't think I can see it from here, but we're gonna go to it first, and then we're gonna go to the rest, actually. So if we're gonna head right to the gallery, to Radiance, and the new hero, the new tank is right here, Ardred. So this is a defense-based hero. She looks amazing. Like they are nailing it with the champion design, man. Like such amazing job. Defense aura for all battles. The passive, after the battle starts, the hero gains 1 stack of blessing, which will give 3% defense and 10 resistance every 5 seconds. This buff is permanent and cannot be dispelled, up to 10 stacks. When the hero's blessing reaches 10 stacks, grants 10 stacks of blessing to all allies. So if you're in a longer fight and you're stacking this up, so you need basically 50 seconds, okay, to stack this up, then all your heroes will receive this as a buff that cannot be removed, guys. It's massive. It's a very, very strong passive. And the resistance is a very nice touch for Arena. Then you have the battle skill. Heals the ally with the lowest percentage HP and grants defense up to them for 5 seconds. When this skill is cast on a target below 50% HP, healing will be increased by 30% and reduces the recharge time for the target's next battle skill by 50%. Very nice again. Then the ultimate covers the entire area. It has a very good complete recharge time and initial recharge time, 10 seconds and 16, okay? Not many heroes have that. Enhances the hero for 10 seconds, increasing all allies' healing received by 50% in the duration, and increases the hero's basic attack, dealing 300% defense radiant damage each time. When enhanced, each of the hero's basic attack grants the ally with the lowest HP 180 defense healing and has a 100% chance of dispelling 1 debuff from them. Now, it's not going to be a massive healing for your entire group, but the more the champion takes turns, the more healing is going to occur on all of your team based on how much HP they have, you know? So that's actually a pretty nice hero. I don't think he's busted or anything like that. I don't think you necessarily need to go and break the bank to get this hero, but I do think that she's actually a pretty solid one. Much better than new tier in my opinion. Or at least so far it seems much better than new tier, you know? So I just wanted to share this with you as well, guys, before we move over to kind of like check all the new heroes. We do have a few rares as well, so if you're gonna check the battle pass right here, you're gonna notice that you are getting the free chest as usual, and as rewards, it's pretty much the same. At the end, you're kind of like getting a new frame and a new Child of Chaos avatar. Kind of looks similar a bit with the previous ones that we got. I don't think they're the same, but they look very similar. Right here, you're getting the chest, and you can see they will add all the new heroes. We have Nord, we have Percival, we have Ariaso, we have Biggs, I think that will be a new rare hero. And I'm not sure if we're gonna get any other new rare heroes. I feel like that's where it will stop, at 4 new rare heroes, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you're gonna notice a few different ones right here, but I haven't noticed any other new one, you know, except these 4 ones at the top. Then, of course, we will get new epics, new legendaries. You're going to be able to see them in this summoning pool, which will be active and will only include champions from Season 2. Now, I've been saving my Wire Marrow, my Heliolite dice. I should be receiving my my content creator perks by the time Season 2 comes in game, so that will give me maybe close to 50 more Heliolite dice with all the Wire Marrow that I'll be getting. Plus, I'm planning to spend a hundo before the season ends to get the 14k gems, and I'll be dropping most of the summons on this. We're gonna see how it's gonna play out, but the whole idea is that it's a nice touch to be able to get only new heroes in terms of epics and legendaries. So these are all the legendaries, how you may notice, and these are all the epics. Now, the chances to summon are still the same mercy. You can get rares, of course, but I don't think the rares will be only the new ones. I think you will be getting old rares too. I might be wrong on it. I'm not 100% sure though. So, that being said, guys, let's start with the epic heroes. I'll be honest, I haven't checked any of them, okay? So, it's gonna be my first reaction to it as well. Let's start with this Skratch, which is a burn hero as well. Looks like a mad bomber. And burn is the new type of damage dealers from the fire element, and it's meant to do AoE damage. So we were kind of lacking that on the fire element. The passive, when the hero and summoned units deal damage to enemies inflicted with burn, has a 75% chance of triggering blast once. So even the summon units, because right now in this season you're gonna get fire and necrosis together. The battle skill deals fire damage to enemies within range and has 75% chance of inflicting one stack of burn. Pretty nice. Then the ultimate summons a self-made turret at the target location for 20 seconds. The turret will attack enemies within range regularly. So it's a straight line basically. And seems interesting so far. It has a chance to put burn on the enemy. I don't necessarily think that he will be the most powerful one, but this seems actually pretty interesting for a single target hits, which I don't think that burn will be very effective against single targets. I think this will be more for waves. Even for arena, I don't think it's that that effective, because you tend to spread your enemies on the map, you know, on the board, and the HP burn kind of like deals area damage around your one box basically, how you can see it in the fire domain. Then we have the next one, Loyal Guard, another burn hero. And the Captain Aura for this hero increases all allies crit damage by 24 in all battles. The passive, when the hero deals damage to the enemy with a basic attack, there's a 30% chance of inflicting the enemy with a stack of burn for 10 seconds. Then gains a shield for 5 seconds and deals damage to enemies around the hero every 0.8 seconds for 4 seconds. So you're dealing a bit of damage around you, not the best skill necessarily. Then again, AoE deals fire damage to enemies within range. If the targets are under burn, dispels all burn from them. Every stack of burn dispel deals additional 220 attack fire damage. So the more stacks you have on, the more heroes you have putting this on the targets, dealing 220 for each one of them could potentially be nasty. Moving over to the next epic, and this seems to be more of a lightning or radiance, Thunderbolt. This is another type of damage dealer, and this will be AoE as well, guys. The Dauntless heroes, the lightning element was really missing AoE damage, so now we're getting the Thunderbolt. The passive, when the enemy is electrocuted, is triggered, reduces the hero's current battle skill recharge time by 10%. The skill only takes effect once every 3 seconds. The battle skill deals damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting electrocuted for 8 seconds. Then you have the ultimate skill. The hero gains attack up for 10 seconds and deals damage to enemies within range. If the enemies are under the effect electrocuted, deals damage and triggers Thunderbolt once on them. Thunderbolt triggers damage dealt by electrocuted. So basically you're getting that twice, which is pretty decent. Moving over to the next one. Gertin. Is this my new third part? Probably not, because it's a damage dealer. Increases all allies attack by 30% in dungeons. So this is another type of damage dealers. The Ice Blast will be kind of like great at dealing single target damage, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have the passive. If the hero has ice crystals, after casting a battle skill, consumes 1 stack of ice crystals and casts the skill again. Upon obtaining ice crystals, the hero gains crit damage up for 5 seconds. The battle skill strikes an enemy twice, each dealing damage. Then the hero gains crit rate bonus for 5 seconds, gains 1 stack of ice crystal immediately if the skill kills an enemy. So you're getting 20% crit rate buff on the hero. That's actually not too bad. Then you have the ultimate. Jumps towards an enemy, dealing pretty good damage and gaining 1 stack of ice crystals. So 1 stack of crystal, the carrier's battle skill will gain an additional effect. Ice crystal stacks up to 5 times. So the more ice crystals you're stacking, the more effects you're gaining, basically. Interesting. Then we have the next epic one, which is another burn, and this is kind of like a bit of a reskin of another champion. Accuracy in all battles. For each enemy inflicted with burn on the field, the hero gains a stack of attack up and stacks up to 10 times, so 50% attack. Then you have casts a fireball that can bounce between enemies for 5 times, dealing attack fire damage upon hit with a chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn. The fireball will prioritize enemies that are not inflicted with burn, which is nice. Then you have the ultimate, deals fire attack damage to enemies within range and triggers blast on enemies inflicted with burn. So I'm not sure if burn actually needs enlightenment. Okay, so I'm gonna have to check that out. But it's basically derivative damage to the carrier and surrounding enemies. Burn can add up to 10 stacks. Wow. So that's a lot of damage, huh? That's a lot of damage. I don't think this will work with enlightenment though, but it's pretty interesting. Then we have this young fella here, another Ice Blast, Sadie. And if the hero has Ice Crystals after casting a battle skill, casts it again by consuming 1 stack of Ice Crystal. The hero's skill has a 50% chance of ignoring 30% of the enemy defense. That can be nasty. Then strikes the enemy 3 times, each dealing cold damage, increases the damage of this skill by 10% each time this skill is cast in a battle, and this effect stacks up to 10 times. Wow. So that can increase the damage substantially. Substantially, actually. That would be a lot of extra damage if you can stack it, you know, like the Vortex, for example. Deals 720% attack cold damage to enemies within range, with a chance of gaining 1 stack of Ice Crystal. So it seems like these heroes are really dependable of other heroes that will give you Ice Crystals. Moving over to this little fella, Manda, Thunderbolt as well, and we have the passive. The hero and the turrets will prioritize enemies that are not inflicted with electrocuted. In addition, each time the hero and the turret successfully inflict electrocuted, each turret gains 1 stack of attack up to 10 stacks. A newly created turret will inherit all attack up stacks previously gained. The battle skill, my god, these are massive walls of text. Self-made turret. Look at it, looks pretty cool. I like the idea of this, looks interesting. I'm curious how it will look on the map. Summons a turret which occupies 1 tile on the battlefield and has a certain amount of HP. With unlimited duration, it will attack enemies at regular intervals. There can be up to 2 turrets on the battlefield at the same time. And when the turret number reaches the upper limit, cast these skills to fully restore HP for the turret with the lowest current HP. That's what Driss needs for his Panther. Literally, that's what Driss needs for his Panther. This is such a great idea. To basically heal them back so they never disappear and spray damage constantly. And they will deal damage and will have a chance to inflict electrocuted for 8 seconds. Then you have the ultimate, grants attack speed up and attack up to all turrets for 10 seconds. The chance of inflicting electrocuted by turrets basic attack is increased to 40% within the next 10 seconds. And it covers the whole area. Sounds interesting. I'm not sure how strong will be as a damage dealer, but very curious to find out. And we have another Ice Blast epic, so it seems like we're not getting any support epic champions whatsoever. I kind of like wanted another Furbart from Frost or something, just to kind of like have a bit of better support for them. Max HP in all battles. Passive if the hero has Ice Crystal after casting a battle skill. It's casting it again by consuming 1 stack of Ice Crystal. When the hero skills trigger a critical hit, there's a 20% chance of granting a stack of Ice Crystal to 1 Ice Blast ally. That's actually nice if you build him with full crit rate. Battle skill strikes the enemy twice, each dealing cold damage with an additional chance of triggering a critical hit, so you only need 80% crit rate. Sounds like Tunnel Nun. Then the ultimate, again, yeah, so it's like Tunnel Nun. Grants 20% attack for 10 seconds and 2 stacks of Ice Crystal to the hero and the Ice Crystal ally with the highest attack. Then strikes the enemy 3 times. Yes, guys, this is the new Tunnel Nun. This right here is the new Tunnel Nun for Frost and is a very good support at the same time on its own for himself. So pair this one with the other epic that I mentioned before that will be good for the Vortex, and you're gonna have a solid team. I'm looking forward to try both of them. I feel like they will be melting bosses 100%. I think was it this one? I think was this one together with him. They will be nice, man. And then we have the legendaries, guys. Fortunately, it will take us a bit longer to go through through their skills. So let's start from the bottom.
I only bury bodies.
Sheena.
Souls
She
will
looks
at
actually
last
pretty
return
nice.
to the
Ice
sea.
Blast hero as well. And Attack Aura in the City of Trials. The passive, if the hero has ice crystals after casting a battle skill, casts it again by consuming 1 stack of ice crystal. When granting ice crystal to Ice Blast allies, the hero will additionally grant attack up that lasts for 10 seconds to all Ice Blast allies up to 10 times, which is nice as well. So they will stack that on. The battle skill generates a Frost Bomb after brief channeling, dealing 90% attack cold damage to the enemy. Generates an extra Frost Bomb for each stack of Ice Crystal the hero has. Each time a Frost Bomb hits the target, there is a chance of granting 1 stack of Ice Crystal to an Ice Blast ally. Now this cooldown is pretty nice. 3 seconds and 8 seconds if you scroll the hero. That's actually very, very nice. So you're gonna get some work out of that skill. Then the ultimate covers the entire area, continuously casts the spell for 6 seconds. During this period, strikes a random enemy every 0.5 seconds, sorry. Each time dealing attack cold damage with a chance of granting 1 stack of Ice Crystal to all Ice Blast allies. So you're gonna have a lot of 50% chances proccing in here and dealing damage at the same time. This is actually nice because they're pairing the support with the damage. So before you needed to kind of like have a good frost support hero for your frost damage dealer, kind of like get the most out of it. This time around, it feels like they're kind of like playing it a bit around differently, and the damage dealers, they kind of bring in their own thing, and they're not so dependable of other heroes. Then we have the next one, which is a burn hero, kind of like another sort of reskin in here. And the passive, whenever an enemy's burn is dispelled, triggered or expired, deals fire damage to the enemy and surrounding enemies. The battle skill locks onto 3 random enemies and fires missiles at them, each dealing damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting a stack of burn on locked targets. Then you have the ultimate bombs the target area, dealing fire damage to enemies within range 3 times while ignoring 15% of the target's defense while they're under burn. Also grants attack up and crit damage to all burn allies for 10 seconds. Sounds pretty nice, buffing and dealing a bit of damage too. Then we have Paesa support for the Radiance element, guys. We have accuracy in all battles. The passive skill increases the success rate for all allies to grant any buffs or inflict any debuffs by 20%, and decreases the success rate for all enemies to grant any buffs or inflict any debuffs by 20%. This effect will not expire when the hero dies. This is so strong for PvP, guys, to counter the enemy. So good. And to increase your chance to land the debuffs on heroes that don't have scrolls, on heroes that might not have 100% chance to do it. Very nice skill right here. A passive, actually, not even skill, you know. Then the battle skill grants damage reduction and damage delay to all allies. Damage delay seems like is a new sort of debuff, and it covers the entire area. Very nice on a 5 seconds recharge time, initial time, massive. 40% of the damage taken is deducted gradually over 5 seconds. So instead of getting one shot, basically the damage will be gradually spread through the duration of the 5 seconds, which I think is interesting. Will give you a chance to keep your hero alive and heal. The ultimate deals attack radiant damage to all enemies on the entire map and has a chance of inflicting blind and recharge speed penalty on them for 10 seconds, then grants immunity to all heroes. Decent damage, recharge speed penalty, which is gonna be pretty strong, and blind. So blind is not the best form of crowd control, but it's still helpful, you know. And I like the recharge speed penalty and the immunity. Very nice hero. Definitely on my list to get, you know. The next one, Shy Noctarch, Thunderbolt hero from the lightning element, of course. Looks badass. Enlightenment in all battles. The passive uses lightning to strike up to 2 random enemies inflicted with electrocuted every 4 seconds, dealing lightning damage with a chance of inflicting electrocuted on them for 8 seconds. So not only that he attacks them, but he's placing it on them too. So he's constantly there. The battle skill deals attack damage and enlightenment to up to 2 random enemies and has a chance of inflicting electrocuted. So you need enlightenment on this hero by the looks of it, which is fine. The ultimate skill grants attack up to all Thunderbolt allies, then deals attack damage and enlightenment damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting electrocuted. So this will be one of those heroes that you don't necessarily want to build with a lot of crit rate and crit damage, but at the same time you kind of want to do close to full crit rate to kind of like get the most out of it, you know, if you can. And it has a pretty interesting range. Seems like he's not gonna hit the back area, so you kind of like want to put him towards the front line, you know. Moving over to the next one, guys. What do we have in here? We have Dog, and this is a defense one from the necrosis element. We have accuracy in arena. The passive attacks the enemy with the highest attack at the start of combat, dealing necrotic damage and marking the target to inflict with 30 stacks of attack penalty. The target loses 1 stack of attack penalty every 1 second for the next 30 seconds. So instantly putting attack down on the enemy with the highest attack, which again is massive for arena, great for the Feymander, for the Pillar of Trials. You guys have no idea how much I struggle with the Feymander. Okay, but that video will come tomorrow. Stay tuned for it. Then we have the battle skill. Deals necrotic damage to the enemy with the highest attack and has a chance of inflicting attack penalty. Again, it will target the enemy with the highest attack. Very, very massive for arena. The ultimate, the hero gains accuracy up, deals 820% attack damage to the enemy. I don't like defense champions dealing attack damage, you know, so I don't think that's great. With the highest HP, reducing their ultimate energy by 30% and a chance of inflicting banished. The target will disappear temporarily from the battlefield in which it can neither move nor be selected. Temporarily for 5 seconds. So think about it in the following way. You get to use this skill with the initial recharge time 11 seconds rather than 12 like most of the other legendaries. And let's just say the enemy has a Tamar, or the enemy has a different hero like El Sibri or somebody else that might have the highest HP, and you're gonna banish that hero. It's so cool, right? Definitely a pretty interesting thing. Now, he doesn't really have much survivability as a defense hero, you know, so I wouldn't use him as the main tank. I would use somebody else next to him. Then we have Stegamorphin, support hero from the poison element. Looks cool like a Sylvan Watcher. Really, really nice. You have attack aura in all battles. The passive seems already like, wow, a lot of stuff happening. When the hero deals damage to an enemy, there's a 25% chance of inflicting 1 debuff randomly, selected from the following debuffs on them for 5 seconds. So this is nice because it's every time this hero deals damage. So just putting healing prohibition or just random stuff, decrease attack, recharge speed penalty, buff prohibition, accuracy penalty, can be very beneficial for a lot of content. Bosses, definitely an interesting passive. I'm liking it so far. The battle skill deals poison damage to the enemy with the highest attack, marking it for 6 seconds. During this time, the hero will shoot an additional arrow at them when launching a basic attack, dealing additional poison damage. So basically, you have 2 chances of activating the passive on the hero with the highest attack from the enemy team, which could be very bad for the enemy if you're landing the decreased attack, the speed penalty, whatever you're landing. The ultimate summons a magic nexus that lasts 8 seconds in the target area, dealing poison damage to enemies within range every second. While the magic nexus exists, enemies who die in cannot be resurrected. So support trying to deal damage to, okay, they're doing that all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised, but the multiplier seem pretty lowish, I would say. So you need somebody else to hit the enemy at the same time, you know. But it's nice that you have more block revive, you know. Then moving over to the next one, what do we have in here? We have Nisa, Thunderbolt. I think she might be the exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. Attack in City of Trials. The passive at the start of combat releases a mechanical creature to follow the nearest enemy, keeping them inflicted with electrocuted. When the followed target dies, the mechanical creature will reselect an enemy to follow. So you're constantly keeping that electrocuted on the target, you know. Then you have the battle skill. Deals damage to the enemy with a chance of inflicting electrocuted on them for 8 seconds, then triggers Thunderbolt once if the enemy is under electrocuted. Thunderbolt triggers the damage once more. And the ultimate AoE targets an enemy, instructing mechanical creatures to follow the target and initiate an electric field that centers around the target for 10 seconds. When an enemy is inflicted with electrocuted, mechanical creatures trigger Thunderbolt on them 2 times and deal damage to all enemies within the electric field. That's actually pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Moving over to the next one. This is a Radiant support. She looks pretty cool. This is the one that answers your questions in game, right? Like the Dragonheir bot. The passive, when the hero has a buff, the enemy cannot resist debuffs inflicted by the hero. Wow. What debuffs do we have in here, though? The battle skill deals damage and enlightenment damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting recharge speed penalty for 5 seconds. Meanwhile, the hero gains enlightenment up. The ultimate covers the entire area, casts the spells 4 times, each dealing attack and enlightenment radiant damage to a random enemy and the enemies around it, with a chance of putting attack penalty. Meanwhile, heals all allies surrounding the random enemy by a specific amount of the target's max HP and enlightenment, with a chance of dispelling 1 debuff from them. The hero casts the spell 1 extra time for every 100 enlightenment they have, up to 6 times with each cast of this skill. Wow! So the more enlightenment, the more times you're gonna proc this, which is interesting, I think, if it goes on different enemies. Nevertheless, I don't dig the passive with the ultimate. I feel like, yeah, I would expect to bring more debuffs if my passive sounds so good. The next one, Malak, Poison Defense. Ooh, this looks badass, man. Look at that weapon, and the undead head in there looks amazing. Increases all allies' defense in arena. The passive, when inflicted with control or ultimate down, gains 15% ultimate energy and heals the hero by 10% max HP. This effect can only occur every 2 seconds. Also, if the hero fails to resist control or ultimate down, there is a chance of nullifying those effects. So, if I fail to resist... okay, so if I don't have resistance, I'm gonna have a chance to completely nullify those down. That's actually nice, because you don't necessarily need to build him with resistance. You don't want to have resistance, actually, in a way or another, because you're gonna nullify that, and you're gonna get the ultimate energy and the healing, you know? Then you have the battle skill. Deals attack max HP poison damage to the enemy and heals the hero by the max HP. The healing is doubled if the enemy is inflicted with a debuff. Okay. The ultimate dispels all control from all allies and grants them control immunity for 10 seconds. Meanwhile, deals damage to enemies with a chance to inflict attack penalty. This will be a nice arena hero, guys. And not just arena. I feel like it's gonna be nice for the Feymander and for the Pillar of Trials, because you're basically gonna put attack down with this skill, dispel all control from allies, and put control immunity. For arena is gonna be so strong. Then moving over to the next hero. What do we have in here? Ooh, this is another badass Zorak Ice Blast. Awesome hero. The passive, when an ally casts a spell that consumes ice crystals, the hero fires an icicle at the current target, dealing attack derivative damage with a chance of gaining 1 stack of ice crystal. The battle skill fires a nice icicle at the enemy, dealing attack and enlightenment damage, consumes all the hero's ice crystals. Every stack consumed launches an additional icicle, dealing more attack and enlightenment damage. So yeah, this is gonna be kind of like a good champion for bosses, I think, especially for Vortex. Then grants damage up to all Ice Blast allies for 10 seconds, with a chance of granting them 1 stack of ice crystals. Meanwhile, all Ice Blast allies gain the effect of Zorak's passive skill. Oh, nice! So you'll be dealing a lot of damage. He seems very interesting. He seems very interesting. I'm very curious to see how much damage he's actually going to deal. This one is one of my most favorite heroes, design-wise, from the new ones, guys. And we're getting Quesitia, kind of like Questa, but it's a Quesitia. She looks so badass. Look at that sword, and my god, so dark, you know. Necrosis element is a defense hero, increased all allies' defense in an arena. The passive, when taking damage, there's a chance of inflicting a recharge speed penalty on the attacker for 5 seconds. The hero takes 30% less damage from basic attacks. The battle skill drags the furthest enemy towards the hero, inflicting damage with a chance of inflicting fear and knocking it up. Meanwhile, has a chance of putting healing prohibition. So all those corner heroes in arena, guys, or in different content, you're basically gonna drag them towards you and put fear, knocking them back up, and healing prohibition. That's very, very nice. It's gonna be a good counter for arena, 100%. Then the ultimate attacks the target area 3 times, dealing damage to enemies, but again is attack damage, and this is a defense-based champion. Not a fan of this. Reduces their ultimate energy by 10 while granting the hero healing and is attack healing to them. The third attack has a chance of inflicting knocked up on the enemies and has a chance of inflicting attack penalty too. Man, I wish the damage and the healing would be based on defense. That would really make this champion awesome. But like this, I'm a bit skeptical about the power of the hero. You know, like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. I'll be honest. Then, moving over to the pirate Carf, another burn hero. And the passive, when the hero skills hits an enemy inflicted with burn, deals additional derivative fire damage to the enemy and surrounding enemies. Derivative damage generated by a specific skill gains an enlightenment bonus but cannot trigger crit. So this seems like it will need enlightenment. Yes, so that will be pretty interesting if we can bring in some serious damage like this. Strikes an enemy 6 times, each dealing attack and enlightenment damage with a chance of inflicting burn. So you want to have attack, you want to have enlightenment, and the accuracy on this hero. The ultimate bombards all enemies on the field 3 times, each dealing attack and enlightenment damage with a chance of inflicting 2 stacks of burn. So this will be kind of like the enabler for the other champions that will come in Anuk, which we're getting to in just a second. This is nice. Inflicts the burn, so it's going to be a 75% chance, scrolled, and is a 3 times hitter. So yeah, you're definitely gonna land that burn AoE. Then we have the Frost exclusive, the Ice Blast hero. Increases all allies' crit damage by 30% in all battles. The passive, if the hero has ice crystals after casting a battle skill, consumes 1 stack of ice crystals to cast the skills again. Damage dealt from the current skill will be increased by 25% upon triggering this effect, up to 100% of the base damage. If the skill isn't triggered again with 3.5 seconds, the accumulated damage bonus is emptied. The battle skill deals cold damage to the enemy while ignoring their shield. The hero gains crit damage up for 5 seconds. Okay, the damage is not too crazy and doesn't seem to get affected by Ice Blast, you know, by the Ice Crystal, sorry. So I don't necessarily think that this will be insane unless the exclusive artifact will affect it in a way. Then the ultimate skill strikes an enemy 3 times, each dealing attack cold damage with a chance of gaining 1 stack of Ice Crystal. Okay, so you do have a chance to gain the Ice Crystal, but I feel like this hero needs support to work better. The next hero right here, guys, Thunder of Order, Percunte Thunderbolt hero. He looks evil, he looks badass as well. Love the Thunderbolt in his hand, man. Zeus, is that you? Just disguised. Captain Aura, we're getting attack in the arena 45%. Then the passive, when on the field, the hero gains 1 stack of Overwhelm with unlimited duration. Whenever electrocuted is triggered, this effect cannot be dispelled and is kept at 30 stacks. At the same time, the hero casts a lightning, dealing attack lightning damage to the enemy with the lowest HP. The fewer enemies on the field, the higher the damage, up to 500% of the base damage. What? 500% increase of the damage, the fewer enemies? That sounds like if you're going against a single target, you're gonna reach the 500% increase in damage. Is that correct? What is Overwhelm? We cannot see that yet, huh? The battle skill deals attack lightning damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting electrocuted and triggers Thunderbolt once on them immediately. Awesome. And that's AoE. Then you have the battle skill, which is covering the entire area. Strikes all enemies twice, each triggering Thunderbolt once and dealing attack lightning damage for every stack of Overwhelm on the hero. Increases the damage of this skill by 3%. All stacks of Overwhelm on the hero will be cleared after this skill is cast. Okay, so you're constantly going to clear those ones. But hey, how many you can have on? Because I forgot. You can have 30 stacks. So 30 stacks will boost the damage. Wow. 90% boost of the damage here. Strikes all enemies twice. So it's almost... Yeah, I don't think it's that nasty. But considering that it's covering all the area, I think it's not bad. And you're triggering Thunderbolt too. So I think like, yeah, I think this will do very, very good damage. Then we have the last legendary hero, guys, which will benefit a lot from the other burn enabler that we just checked a minute ago. So this is another exclusive. Increases all allies attack by 30% in all battles. The passive basic attack deals additional fire damage to the enemies in 3 adjacent tiles in front of the hero. When the basic attack deals damage to enemies under burn, increases the hero's ultimate energy by 5%. That is very nice too. You're gonna rotate that more often. The battle skill deals 350% attack fire damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting 1 stack of burn. The more stacks, the more damage when you detonate them, guys. Okay, so you want to have as many stacks as possible. And this is a decent area. He's a melee hero, so you want to throw him in the middle of the action. The ultimate dispels all enemies burn and deals 500 attack fire damage to them, then triggers blast on all enemies, with each enemy as the blast center, dealing additional fire damage to surrounding enemies for each stack of burn. So imagine having 10 stacks of burn, okay? You're gonna get 1,900 attack damage on all of them. On top of it. That's insane. Absolutely insane. For each stack of burn previously dispelled from the enemy, the blast damage is increased by 75%. I think without a doubt, this hero sounds like the craziest damage dealer. I don't know why, but that skill is just so nasty. The potential of that skill is wow, you know? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which one of them is your most favorite hero out of the new legendaries, guys? I definitely don't think they are broken in a way that they're power creeping the old ones. So that's a good thing, because I was very curious to see if they're gonna make them so busted that will completely eclipse the older legendaries. So it's good to see that they're not taking it that far, you know. And talking about the new rare champions, guys, of course we're gonna have to check the 4 of them out as well to see kind of like what they're doing. Let's start with Nord. So this champion right here is gonna be an Ice Blast. I think we're gonna get one from each one of the elements. With a passive, if the hero has ice crystals, after casting a battle skill, casts it again by consuming 1 stack of ice crystal. When the hero deals damage, there's a 20% chance of granting 1 stack of ice crystals to the Ice Blast ally with the highest attack other than the hero. Then we have the battle skill. Strikes an enemy twice, each dealing 200% attack cold damage. The ultimate deals attack cold damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting 1 stack of ice crystal. Pretty interesting. Doesn't sound too out of the ordinary. It really depends how he's gonna play out with that battle skill. Then we have Percival, which is a burn hero. Kind of like a reskin as well, actually. The aura increases all allies' attack by 24% in the series of trials. The passive, the hero skills, deals 30% more damage to enemies inflicted with burn. That's nice. The battle skill strikes the enemy 3 times, each dealing fire damage with a chance of inflicting burn. That's pretty good too. It's gonna be 100% chance scrolled. The ultimate grants attack up to all burn allies, then attacks and deals 650% attack with the 30% from the passive if they have burn, sorry, not frost. It's actually gonna deal pretty good damage. Definitely not too bad, and the initial recharge time 11 seconds. Interesting. Then we have Ariaso. So he is a Thunderbolt. Looks pretty weird. The passive, for each enemy inflicted with electrocuted on the field, the hero gains a stack of attack up to 10 stacks. The battle skill deals 400 attack lightning damage to the target. If the target is inflicted with electrocuted, triggers Thunderbolt once on them. The ultimate deals lightning damage to enemies within range with a chance of inflicting electrocuted. So interesting, but not that wow either. And we have Biggs, which is a new burn hero, the Pyromancer. With a battle skill, every third basic attack has a chance of inflicting a stack of burn. Wow, that's actually very nice because it's the basic attack. So if you give him a lot of attack speed, he's constantly gonna stack up burns on you on the target, which is interesting. The battle skill selects an enemy and throws an incendiary at it, and it sides, dealing 200% attack fire damage upon hit, with a chance of inflicting a stack of burn. Again, the chance will go up to 100%. Then the ultimate strikes an enemy within range 5 times, each dealing attack damage with a 30% chance of inflicting a stack of burn. He seems like a very good champion to land burn for other damage dealers. Like he does a pretty good job, you know. The only thing is single target attacks. I don't think that good. I might be wrong on it, and I might be judging it early, but I don't think burn sounds great for single target enemies. But I'm gonna have to test that out and keep you guys posted. That was all for the video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below which one of these new heroes is your most wanted one, regardless if it's an epic or a legendary or even a rare. And stay tuned for the next video. We will be reviewing the gear set and the artifacts. But that was all for today, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.